I'm just going to leave his little face there for a little bit longer because he's a bit gorgeous. Good morning, everybody. This is either the worst ventriloquism or I would like you to meet Desmond. Desmond is a donkey, as you can see. There he is. Hi, Desmond. He is the fabulous work of Kath Hardcastle. And he's on the show today. Yay! We have Desmond. We have Choo Choo. Or as someone misheard me this morning, Desmond Tutu's on the show. I'm like, no, Desmond and Choo Choo. We cleared that up. Yeah. That quilt Jane is demoing tomorrow. And I'm going to demo Choo Choo and show you how to Desmond. Can I make him a verb? Just have. So yeah, that is what is on the show today. I have to give you a couple of warnings. All right. Warning number one. I am not an expert at free motion embroidery, and this will involve some free motion embroidery. These are Kath Hardcastle designs. She is an extraordinary artist, so clever. And if you want to see her absolutely show you categorically how to do this, her way using Bonder Web. I think she's coming away from Bonder Web now. I'm moving her towards the Misty Web, Misty Fuse world. But the very first demo that she did with us here for Jasper Rabbit, and this is my very beaten up version of Jasper Rabbit here, and he is still available in pattern version on the website. If you would like him and to see her demo, and the demo is applicable to all of the applique, yeah. Then watch back her first show. Kath can't be with us today because, and she said I was allowed to say, she's just had another round of chemo, so it's not safe for her to be here, basically. So I am going to do my very best. And as Margaret said yesterday, Natasha and free motion embroidery, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah, okay, I take that. I'll take that. But I like to think of this as we've had Kath here before and you can see how the expert do it. But if you're not an expert like me and you want to desperately have Choo Choo and Desmond and Jasper in your life, then actually how many of us are actually experts? And this is how I have done it. Okay, so yeah, and I'll give you the pros and cons. You know what it's like here, it's warts and all. So it will be warts and all with the applique and a slightly different version. And I checked with Kath, she's happy for me because I use Mr. Web and I use Bond and Repair and I use those sorts of things rather than Bonder Web. I just find it easier for applique. Then she's like, yeah, let's show everyone another way. So that's that really. That's what we're going to do this morning. And Anna is going to stay for the whole show. Hooray, because she has new Wi-Fi. So congratulations to you. Linda, good morning to you. Laurie, good morning. Love the animals. Well, what's not to love? Sandra's in Hastings. I was in Hastings just the other day. Lovely part of the world. And Pam says Desmond looks very cheeky. Doesn't he just? Doesn't he just? Oh, SJ, is that a cup of tea for me? Amazing. Thank you so very much. Look at that socially distanced tea. Cheers, everyone. It's been that busy this morning, honestly. I was going to say partly my fault, like entirely my fault, because I got carried away. I was only going to do the face of the panda, and I got a bit involved, ended up doing far too much. Time ran away, and I was like, I haven't prepped the rest of the show. Soz. Kind of sorry, not sorry, but we get there in the end. Who else have we got with us this morning? Adele, hello. Adele loves it. I'm not an expert. The thing is, I can't pretend to be something that I'm not. There are things that I'm good at and things that I'm still learning. This I'm still learning. But when I'm not an expert, then I put my hands up to it and you know, I will always give it a go and practice. So, you know, we'll do that. Jan's with us. Jennifer's morning. Good morning. And Anne's with us. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Val says it's dreary and Neath. Well, that's okay, because it's, you know, we're bright and sunny here. And Donna is looking forward to this demo. Like I say, if you want the professional look back at Kath's original. Honestly, I don't normally feel nervous for a show, but yeah. Jenny says, best wishes to Kath. Chemo can be grueling, but worth it. Love from a survivor. Oh, Ginny, bless your heart. Yeah, she's got a little bit of a road ahead of her, I think. But if there's one lady that will beat anything with a big stick that gets in her way, it'll be Kath. Good northern lass is our Kath. She's not going to let it get her. And Louisa, good morning. And Freddie, good morning. And Susan, good morning. Yeah, Susan, it is how we do it in our homes. And we don't all have the really expensive kit as well. So we're going to touch upon that as well. I want to make it affordable. I want to make it enjoyable. And yeah, you know, mistakes happen. There were two ways that I could do these shows. I could do it so that I have someone on standby with another machine in case I snap a needle or my machine on threads or something like that. And you'll see on, you know, on shopping channels and stuff, you know, they don't want that image of every day. You know, they want everything to be seamless, so they'll cut away and go and have a look at something else. I don't have that. It's me. It's just me. And actually, sometimes I think we learn more. And you know, the annoying thing is that if stuff does go wrong and then I stop, as soon as the cameras are down, within 2 minutes, it's generally fixed. It just is life, isn't it? Lots of you wishing Kath well, and I'm sure that she was. Well, I know she's watching. So, like, no pressure there, obviously. None whatsoever. Veronica, good morning. And Susan, good morning. Love the cup. Oh, thanks. Yeah. When I first found this designer, I couldn't decide if I loved it or hated it, but I love it. And I've got quite a lot. It's a Pip Studio. I've got the matching teapot here. And when I broke the lid, I didn't know what to do with it. So I just turned it into my scissor holder. Because I couldn't get rid of it. I loved it too much. Because it looked like fabric. I think that was the thing. It looked like fabric. Good morning from North Carolina. Good morning, my goodness. Natasha Makes International. Hello, Liz. Lovely to have your company. And Wemo, pouring with rain. Oh, bless you, bless you. Raining in South Shields. You are an 11 years survivor. Good. Oh, just great. Just it gives me goosebumps. It just, you're all amazing. You're all amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Kath says you'll smash it. Thanks, Kath. And Elizabeth says, good morning, Kath. I mean, we're all there. We're all in it together this morning. Anne says, we're all with you. Go for it, girl. Yeah. And Dorothy's got her cuppa, so that's okay. She's just ordered Desmond and just learning, and also just learning free motion. So looking forward to the show. Dorothy, yeah, that's lovely. Oh, Heather says I can't check out today. Thinks I'm a robot. Does it? I'm sure SJ can help you there. SJ, can you help Heather, please? She's having a bit of a time of it. Helen says you're doing great. Haven't started yet, so that's it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Lots of gorgeous messages this morning. Thank you very much. Waiting for today's show, says Sue. Just put her granddaughter down to have time to watch. Do you have one of those amazing children that actually sleep when you put them down for a nap? Because I would like one. We were convinced with COVID that we would get stopped because Emily will only nap if we put her in the car and drive her around a bit. So we weren't sure. We thought that if we got stopped by a policeman who had kids, they would realise that it was an essential journey. We weren't actually getting out, we were just driving around. But that's backfired on us before, when we then get people on like the local nosy neighbour Facebook page that then go, oh, suspicious car driving around. And you're like, no, just trying to get the kid off to sleep. It's fine, nothing to see here. But yeah, if we got stopped by a policeman who was young, you know how they look, like 15, one of those, then yeah, they might not have kids and they might not understand it was a vital trip. Anyway, we digress. So today's show is sort of back to front in a way, because I've kind of started Choo Choo, and then we'll go back to the beginning and start from the beginning and show you how to do Desmond from the beginning. Bear with, it's all good. Okay. So, you will need, let's do the you will need list. We have options today. If you want to do, I'll call it like traditional applique, like you will have seen on Sewing Quarter or anything like that. If you've watched those shows, then traditional applique will use Bondaweb. And that's what I'd always seen before, was applique with Bondaweb, which is fine, but the paper's on the back. And the thing with Kath and her designs is that you'll see here, there are other markings to line up, and that's why I lean towards this way, because then I can keep the papers on the top. Otherwise, once you've taken the papers off, they've gone. But here I can keep the papers on the top, and then I can align everything in the right way. You'll see. So that's where we used to put our babies beside the washing machine on a high spin, worked a treat. Not in the washing machine on a high spin, no. Although we did, Mum, do you remember? We had a cat. We had a Burmese cat called Shenacat Souchard. He was terribly posh, but his mum had eaten a poinsettia before he was born and all his teeth dropped out. Anyway, yeah, he actually got in the tumble dryer. It was obviously warm. Stuff had come out. And he climbed in. Mum didn't realise, put it on. There was a ka-thunk, ka-thunk. Luckily, you know, she heard the ka-thunk and he came out a little bit dazed, but none the worse for wear. So, yeah, don't put your cats in the tumble dryer is what I say. Oh, she felt awful. She felt absolutely awful. Yeah, Janet said, we did that with my boys. Not put them in the tumble dryer. Took them for a drive. Gallons of fuel we used back then. Yeah. Testing times. But angelic with naps, hideous without. So, you know, we'll take that. Okay, so, right. Back as we were, you can use Bondaweb. Absolutely use Bondaweb. That's great. And actually, with Kath's pattern, what you are getting is Bondaweb. You just trace that onto Bondaweb. You don't have to flip it or do anything like that. You can just trace that, and that will give you the Panda that way round. The way that I've done it, you have two options. You will either have the mirror, or you just have to draw on the shiny side of the freezer paper. I'll show you in a minute. So you can either use Mist Diffuse, and I have Mist Diffuse in black or white, and they are on the website. Or I discovered this morning, you can also use the Bond and Repair. And I've used a bit of Bond and Repair, a bit of Mist Diffuse, because I whack it all in the same box when I've got offcuts, and I just go for it. If you have Mist Diffuse, brilliant. Excellent, it's lovely and fine, it's great to use. If you are on a budget, your Bond and Repair is the most inexpensive way to do it, because it's $9.99 a metre and it's massive, like massive. That's your most cost-effective way of doing it. Mist Diffuse is your posh way, but fab, and it comes in, and if you know, you can also use the black Mist Diffuse on the black parts of the Panda. With everything that's going on in America at the moment, Cave had to do he was doing a Vogue knitting live thing on Facebook, and they gave him a list of words and stuff he wasn't allowed to use in case it upset American viewers. So I'm just going to apologise now in advance, but for me, this is black because it is, and this is white because it is, and it's nothing political about it. It just, that is its colour. It just is it. It's nothing else, okay? So if you scare easy, switch off now. But it just, I'm going to get myself in a bit of a Twitter if I go in the darker fabric and the lighter fabric, and it's just black, white and grey. Okay, black, white and grey and green. Okay, we've cleared that one up. Right. So mist diffuse or bond and repair. I've got a bit of bond and repair for you there, and yeah. So when you get a metre of it, because it's quite wide as well. So Inga loves cutting this, don't you, Inga? She's just gone past the door going, I hate that stuff with a passion. I even bought you a proper metre rule to measure it with, didn't I? I treat you to everything. Me. Yeah, very impressive. Don't say I never give you anything, Inga. You lucky lady. But yeah, so you'll get... Inga will cut you a metre of that. That's why we have a love-hate relationship with that one. Mr. Fuse comes in a pretty little packet. That's less expensive because we have to take it off the roll, and that's why. Eileen says, lovely to see you. Thank you very much. Lynn says, what a sad world we live in, having to watch what we say for colours. I know, it's crazy, but if I just get it out there, that I'm not meaning to cause any offence, and if you choose to take offence, then that's up to you, but none is meant on my side, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, what we have... Elizabeth says, I have a feeling you're well on form today, Natasha. Yeah, can I explain about you? Yesterday I was a little bit distracted, and shortly before the show, again, if you're scaries you might not want to listen to this, but yeah, the chickens are just outside there and I can see them, and yesterday morning just before the show, Mr. Fox had got one of my chickens, and I had the very unenviable task of clearing up what he didn't want, and it was all a little bit traumatic, so I do apologise. Various other stuff, having to change the show last minute and stuff because of supplies not being in, and blah 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 blah, all lots of stuff that you don't even need to worry about. It just meant it was a car crash yesterday show. It was awful, so apologies for that. Today we're back on form, we are prepped because I knew it was happening, and we're all good. But yeah, stuff like that does put you off a bit. It's part of country life, and I was trying to explain to the kids that Mr. Fox's babies now had a full stomach. No, what are you going to do? The electric battery had run out. My fault entirely. Right, so Naomi's sneakily watching on mute. Probably best, Naomi. Freezer paper. This is my new secret applique tool. And I've got hold of this for you. I know a lot of you have bought this in the past. I keep it in the cupboard for several reasons. Firstly, I can wrap Freddy's sandwiches in it. Secondly, if the kids decide they want to do something artistic, I can put it on the table, put some washi tape around the edges, and then it's not going to... their paint and glue and everything else isn't going to go on the table. It's fab for that. So if you want to use it for how it was intended, wrap your sandwiches in it or your meat or whatever, put it in the freezer, great. If you want to use it for crafts to protect your desk, do that, fabulous. If you want to use it for applique, yes, fabulous. Now, I've seen this used before when people have done circles and they've used it as a, for applique, almost like an English paper piece template to do circles and stuff like that. It has other uses, and this is where it comes in brilliantly, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to show you how in a minute. I will get there, I promise. It's all the housekeeping, isn't it, at the start of a show? But that is on the website. If you're new to us, good morning. You must think, who is this woman talking about chickens and stuff? 5M in the US. Great-granddaughter visiting in junior bed. We'll keep it low. Okay, we'll whisper. Love the cave interview. First time I've become aware of your show. Oh, thank you, Carol. Good morning to you. Hello. We'll whisper because your granddaughter's asleep. Our neighbour's cat, says Claire, had a pigeon for lunch. Only feathers left all over the grass. At least that was all that was left over the grass. Florence says it was not a car crash. Don't apologise. It was fun. Do you know what I've decided to do? I hate not being able to do stuff well. and I am going to master zips and do a complete compendium on every kind of way to do zips you possibly can, so that anybody else that ever comes across a zip will have a resource for zips. That's my mission. I'm going to do it. Sue says, fantastic Mr. Fox, I know many. See them as vermin, but I love ours. Can't help it, they're hilarious to watch. I saw him as well that morning. Yeah, I mean, he looks fabulous. He looks absolutely fabulous. Right. As you can see, or you may be able to see, let me just see what you can see. Let's have a look at what you can see. Okay, so I might have to move Desmond. Let's pop Desmond down there for a minute and just have a quick rearrange. Oh, did you guys get your cave book, by the way? We've got free shipping on the cave book at the moment. There we go, there's the cave book. You're not that one, that's my copy. You can't have that one. It's been well loved and used. Right, I don't need that today. I might need some of that. Oh, by the way, talking of yesterday's show, these are now up on the website, the stitch unpickers, and they do mini ones as well. Yeah. Anne said she loved yesterday, never thought of making a giant cushion from a panel. Well, there you go. There are better ways to have done it. I didn't really think of it either until I thought of it. Okay, so when I say I got a little bit carried away with Choo Choo, I might have done quite a bit. Oh, Heather, it's our 30th anniversary today. Watching and buying as a treat for me. Absolutely. Congratulations to you. Kath does an astounding job with the instructions, and a lot of time and effort and energy has gone into this. Claire, I don't know how long it takes Kath to design these lovely animals. Kath, can you answer that one? You've got a key down here for the amount of fabrics that you will use and that you will need. And then this is, I was trying to explain it to Emma this morning when she rang for our morning debrief at 6 a.m. And I was like, it's like fabric painting by numbers. So these are your numbers. These are the colours that you need it to be. These are your instructions. They are so in depth. And then for your quilt, and what she's done is she's left you an option so that you can choose your design with your colours. This is the design for the quilt top. These are the colours that she's recommended. You can colour your own and see what it's going to look like. And then this is how you put all of those together. It is so comprehensive. So it's a quilt design with an applique, and then also with all of your full-size pattern pieces. Now, like I say, these have all been flipped so that if you are using Bondaweb, and that's what you have in your stash, and don't get me wrong, I've got 22 meters of the stuff in my cupboard, and I used to use it all the time, but now I've kind of switched my affections. Then you can use Bondaweb. On something like a quilt, it probably doesn't matter because it just gets stiffer the more layers you use of Bondaweb. That's why I use Mr. Fuse and Bond and Repair, because you don't get that stiffness. And also I find it easier, like I say, with the paper on top. But you get all of these full size, all numbered, and there we go. All of that in there. And that's why this is $18.99, because so much time and effort and energy and just the printing costs alone for that amount into a booklet that you can keep and reuse. Oh, my panda's slipping away. Come back. That's what you're getting. You're getting Kath's expertise and knowledge and everything else. And I think it's great that we can support a British artist. Fabulous. Right, so that's Choo Choo. And again, so Jasper along the same lines, and if you want to see Kath's Jasper, then we'll put up a link to when Kath was here. He's in 2 different colourways, and what I will do, because I think he will look fabulous in the Salt Batiks, is I will put some Salt Batik collections together for that. I'll put those up later on today if you want him. Now, Desmond... Where's my Desmond instructions? Oh, over here. Bear with. Is a bit like Jasper, not apart from the long ears, and the pattern format. That's about it. Again, step by step, it's all there. and we'll touch upon how to start this. Look at that. Look at all these pattern pieces there. Fabulous. There we go. And what I've done for you with Jasper is this. You need a creamy colour, dark grey, dark brown, mid brown, dark grey, lighter grey. Oh, Kath says it takes around 50 hours to create a character from scratch, including drawing up the templates and basic diagrams. That's why it's $18.99, people. 50 hours. Good grief. Kath, you're amazing. There we go. These are fat quarters. They're $9.99. So if you want to make Desmond, this will do his face. Okay. What we learnt with Jasper, because we did Jasper when we were a very new channel, was that actually you used your own colours for the sashing and everything else. So this is the fabric for the applique of Desmond. Which backing fabric and sashing fabric you then use is up to you. Completely up to you. But these are the colours, these are the fabrics for his actual face. And I might have to finish him off today for my mum, because she has 2 donkeys that lodge with us called Gert and Daisy, and they're in their 20s and they're only middle age, because they do indeed live 4 donkeys years. And yeah, I think Mum would like Desmond to go with Gert and Daisy. So there we are. That's Sheena, please can you tell me or us what the screw is on the side of a foot? Screw on the side of a foot. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. Patricia says, I just bought Desmond to make a cushion as I work at the Donkey Sanctuary in Devon. Going to look fab in on my office chair. Oh, Patricia, yes. Oh, yes. Fabulous. Fabulous. Keep up that good work. So that is Desmond, how we've done Desmond. And like I say, I will do similar for Jasper, because we didn't have the salt batiks then. So it was done with plains. And now I think that would look absolutely lovely. Right, let's talk about this chap. You've got the pattern, Panda pattern is $12.99 rather 18. Oh, right, that needs to be amended. Ems, yeah, sorry, that's Ems. Can you please change that to $18.99? It shouldn't be $12.99. The Panda should be $18.99, not $12.99. Please, can you amend that? I didn't check the prices before we came to air. Right. If you would like, and again, this is from feedback from Jasper, the rabbit. If you would like the fabric for the Applique Panda, and let me show you which other bits this will do. So that bundle there, you get 1 metre of black, 1 metre of white, 1 metre of grey. Now the grey may vary. Did you know that there is a national shortage of black, white and grey? Yeah. So when you go to wear and you've had these fabrics on order for such a long time and you're wondering, why have they still not arrived? And you ring and chase now several suppliers and they go, well, there isn't any. Everyone's making masks out of black, white and grey. Think of all the gorgeous fabrics there are out there. And people are just doing black, white and grey. What is the matter with people? Anyway, I digress. There is now a national shortage of black, white and grey. The grey may vary. That was the point. The grey may vary because I've had to go to 2 different suppliers to get the grey. It'll vary in colour, not quality. All right, that's the key. So the first people to order will get the lighter grey. I've got a slightly darker grey coming on order. Should be here in the next few days. There might be a slight delay on that. We are in the lap of the cotton gods. If you would like the grey, the white, the black, the 2 different greens, so I've given you a 1/2 metre. You've got so much green. Actually, I should have just put a fat quarter in, but I wanted to make sure that you had plenty. And the white, enough for the white here, and enough for the black here, and enough for the grey, because all of this is sashed beautifully. Then go for that. If you have fabric for these bits, or you want to use your own, that's great. If you would like fabric for those, then I can offer you this today. And I think these are rather gorgeous, because we can get the same fabric that Kath had used. There we go. So that I think is very, very beautiful. Look at these little chaps. Aren't they lovely? And then got your dragonflies there, instead of the red. So if you would like to use those on your quilt, they've all been Kath approved. As yes, she was happy with those. Then they are the fabrics that we are recommending instead of those. Okay, so imagine that would be that, some grey there, and that's how that. Okay, let me just block all of that for you. There you go. Okay, so that they would be the fabrics, and they are a ½ metre of each. So yeah, you've got 1.5 meters here. You won't use all of it at all. And then you've got, this is a 4 metre bundle here. And then with the instructions, I think the whole thing, I wrote it down, with the instructions, with the fancy fabric, with the plain fabric, everything and instructions, I think the whole thing came in under £72 for a big quilt. I was like, actually, do you know what? Bearing in mind that £18 of that is instructions that you're going to use again and again and again, because actually I would love him as a floor cushion, a wall hanging, you know, just all sorts of things. I think he would be something that I would gift as well. I would love, yeah, just beautiful. And imagine changing all these colours. Because he is just those plain colours, you could do these to suit different bedrooms, different rooms. You could do a psychedelic, well, you nearly ended up with a purple panda yesterday, I'll be honest. Then you know, the choice is yours, which is why I've done the applique. So go for the applique. Then if you want the fabrics that we've chosen for the surround, then add those into your baskets, and obviously the instructions, add those into your basket. www.natashamakes.com. They are all underneath today's show, where you can watch live on the website. Okay, so we have those. Now, that's that. We're getting there. See, as I clear the desk, we get closer and closer to actually demoing. But I just wanted to explain, and I try and do it to give you the biggest options. Firstly, for price and wallet. And secondly, for what fabric you have in your stash or what home decor you have. I don't want you to go, oh, actually, I don't want to buy it because actually those fabrics aren't the colours that I want in my home. I'd rather do pinks and purples around the outside. That's fine. But the Panda colours are pretty much standard. Okay. Oh, purple Panda sounds fabulous. Honestly, after everything I've gone through to get grey, black and white, you are not having a purple Panda. He would look amazing in purple, wouldn't he? It's a whole other show. Like 60s Panda or something. So Kath manages to achieve this incredible depth with her... Oh, the tutu applique is sold out. Right. I'm going to see if I can get some more. Okay, well, actually, I will ask you. I can make an awful lot more if, instead of this grey, you would be happy to go with a batik. The black is the darkest black batik, and Kath was like, oh, that's so lovely, that's so lovely. So there is ever such a slight texture. If you are happy to go with a grey batik, so it would be this kind of grey, or a darker, actually it would be a darker one. It would be that kind of grey. Then I can make up loads more. If you would like that, then just pop a message on Facebook, and we'll get those kits made up. And then, yeah, because otherwise, like I say, I'm just limited by what I can get. That's it. But yeah, if you're happy to have the batik, and he will look animally and furry that way. And I kind of ummed and ahed, but I kept it exactly how Kath did it there. But she regularly uses batiks because they give you that fur effect. So there we go. That's your option. My granddad had a toy panda in the back car window. His black fur eventually got sun bleached to purple. There you go. There you go. You see, it's all good. So the first thing that you do is open up, read all of the instructions, and then at the back, where have I put him? And then you have all of the templates. Now, if you are using Bondaweb, then you just trace them on your Bondaweb on the paper side. That's fine. If you are using freezer paper, you have two options. Firstly, you can trace it with the plastic side down, and that will give him as a mirror image. And that's what I've done here, just to show you. If you want it exactly the same way that Kath has done, turn your freezer paper so that the shiny side is up, and use a marker pen or a pencil that will draw on that shiny side, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, and that's what I've done with Desmond, and that will put him the way round that's in here. Okay, so if you're happy with a mirror image, just trace. That's fine. Because predominantly people use Bondaweb, Kath has done it so that you don't have to do that flipping thing that's so annoying with Bondaweb. With freezer paper, it doesn't matter. You can either do it, like I say, if you want to do it mirror image, just trace it on the top side of the freezer paper. If you want to do it reverse, and just trace it onto the shiny side. It makes no odds. Go through and then rough cut out. To give you an idea, this is in readiness for Desmond, and I will show you this later. So there's the fabric that we're going to use. These are the pieces rough cut out. That's on the shiny side, so that will then get stuck onto the fabric and you can still see through it to cut it out. That's why I love using freezer paper. Okay, and then compile them into colour order. So this one I've written on here medium brown, and all of those medium brown pieces with the fabric is put into there. This is your housekeeping that makes it easier, and then you know where you're at. And then when you've done all of that, I'll show you then how to progress. But effectively you will then end up with each of your pieces cut out. If you are using Bondaweb, then that side, that adhesive side, will have the paper on. If you're using freezer paper, then that sticky side down, bump there, that will then adheres to your fabric, but you can easily pull it off. It's fabulous stuff, absolutely great. Okay. Emma and Julia, are you colluding on Panda colours? Is that what's happening? What are you two up to? Yeah, it's all about the Panda colour. And then, so you'll have them all cut out in your piles of colour, and then you start to put it together. And here we are. There are different ways and different things that you can use with applique. If your funds are endless, and I don't stock them here, but fuser mats are fabulous. They're about anywhere between 50 and 70 quid, which meant I wanted to find a cheaper version for you. Okay, now a fuser mat you can use with any of your applique substances, like your Mr. Fuse, your Bonder Web, anything like that. And basically it's a silicone mat with like almost like little chambers, tiny little chambers. And what that does, when the heat is applied, it holds on to the glue. So the glue doesn't ooze out sideways when it's melted, it's held. And you can also then peel it off. So with Bonder Web, obviously you take the paper off and then you'd hear it, and that's fine. With Mr. Fuse and with Bond and Repair, you can keep reheating it and move it. And so here, look, this is the difference. This is all ready to go. And because I've done this on my Teflon pressing sheet or my if you are starting out and you've never done it before, then work on a ironing mat, ironing board, whatever, with some baking paper. You'll be fine. It just gets a bit crunchy. If you want a Teflon sheet, a pressing sheet, then I've got those on the website. And actually it's a nice big size. I've got 2 of these together actually. And that works, because he's big, you know, he is big. And Kath said, you know, he's a starter. He is for starter appliqueists, because he's not actually all that complicated. Oh gosh, Liz says she was very lucky to win a fuser mat on Saturday. Well, then you know exactly how much they are. If you do not have 70 odd quid for a fuser mat, and you know, it's the dream, isn't it? It's the dream. But if it is just a dream right now, if you go to Amazon, I got 2 of these, and these are sugarwork mats. They fundamentally do the same job. Okay, they're not fancy schmancy, they're not as pretty and everything else as the fuser mats. Fuser mats are the dream. These are $11.99. Like that is my tip for you, and they work brilliantly, and your glue doesn't go everywhere. If you don't want to work on that and you've already got, like I say, a pressing sheet, these are brilliant as well. So we have options, and I really wanted to talk through, I know we haven't actually sort of done anything yet, but I wanted to talk through your options, because obviously money only goes one way. I'm very aware of that. So I would rather that you had gorgeous money for fabric than spending it on stuff that actually there are cheaper alternatives. So my pieces are cut out, and I wanted to show you with this. Lisa says, have you tried a silicone baking sheet? That's what that is. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it, Lisa. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you just go onto Amazon and look for silicone baking sheets, I think I got 2 of those size and a smaller one for like 11 or 12 quid, something like that. So that's what I'm saying. There's always an alternative. Right. Okay, so I've done the top bit just to get us started. And I am going to work with freezer paper, and that was on the website. And as you can see here, so this is his ear, and it's still got it on the top, but you can just peel it off, and it comes off as easily as that. I've got the adhesion then is underneath, and we are all good to go. Put that back in my packet of stuff to use again. So that's his face. Now, as you can see here, and I'm going to move all of this out of the way. Did we decide if you were happy to have Panda applique kits with the grey batik? Because if you are, then hang on, how many did we load? Then M's, you can load another 15. Yeah, I think if you'd, yeah, I think. Make that 10, make that 10. Okay. Right. This is what I mean by, with Kath, she does placement lines. So this is your top part of your bamboo, okay? And you can see I've got some lines going on there. Now this dotted line here shows me the placement of that hand. So the hand here will come over there. So yes, M's 10. Thank you, my darling. So as his hand is on there, tuk, 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 I know that that hand is placed in the right position. Okay, and I've peeled that off. The beauty of this is that I can, there's still a bit of shine on that, so I can always with my iron just go in and just, if I want to just keep that there without it coming off, I can just press it back down and that will just hold that back in place. So I know that the hand is in place, and I've followed very carefully the instructions. So this piece here, and this is where I just need to have a little look at the picture. So this bit here is his arm under here. And I can see that on here, this is my placement line. So the hand is going to go, hang on, up there like that. And then all of that. So when you draw these, draw all of these things on. Okay. So I've got his arm coming out there. And then number 17 is a white piece here. And that, again, you can see those lines. That will slip under there. And look, you see, then you've got that continuation of that line coming down and around here. This, again, this is the genius of Kath. And then, again, we've got this line here. That will slip up under, oh, what's that? Piece of lavender. How lovely. That will slip up under those fingers there and under that bit of bamboo there. And that will come around there. And that will come under there. But you see, this is why I like to use the freezer paper, because I've got these drawn on. I can see it. And then, where are we? So then, there we go. He's got his little oozy fat white bit there. But again, following all these lines, and then this bit here starts to come into play and overlap. So before I go too much further, I want to put, I know that this is pretty much done now. I'm going to have a flower, a shoot bit up the top to apply. And then I know that this bit is pretty much there. So what I will cautiously do is take off the hand part there it is. Oh. And then I will just start to peel this bit. Okay, so I know that this is going to go under there, okay, but is going to sit like that there. So what I'm going to start to do now is layer this all up. I'm not going to press yet, okay. I'm going to peel back the bits that I need to peel back and check that I've got them all in the right place, because things move. That's the other thing I've discovered. These things move, but as long as I know that these are all aligning right where I wanted them to be, he's shifted a bit. There we go. Yeah. So he should be down there. And just keep going in, checking your lines, double checking, bringing that down to there. And Kath, if I'm doing any of this wrong, just shout. And then this bit here, again, this is his black tummy bit. That is now going to go underneath the hand, underneath the paw there, along there, and lie like that. And there will be a bit of crossover. Shimmy that down a little bit so there's a little bit more crossover. And that is just, and you can see when you start to do it, when you lay your freezer paper back down on top, if you've gone in too far. And this just really helps your placement. So it's like, right, need to move that down a little bit. Because whilst if you're using Bond and Repair or Mist Diffuse, you can reheat and peel back off. You might get a little bit of fraying. So just if you can avoid that, then great. Okay, so those pieces are where I need them to be. So I'm just going to peel that back now. This is where these little prim mini irons are fab. And just press. So I know that, right, that arm now is pretty much in position. And now I need to peel back the top of this bit here. Dinkety dinkety dink. And actually I will pretty much take that off. Pop that under there like so. Double check by putting that back on there that I'm happy. Need to go up a little bit there. We're all on there. And then press. Now you might be thinking, but what's the problem here? That's black on black. Yes, it is. And you will then have a line then for stitching. Okay, that will then be your guide for stitching. And this is pretty easy. You can do this. You don't have to do free motion on this. You can do this using just a blanket stitch, either by hand or on your machine, just a tiny blanket right. So then we've got all of that bit in place now. So it is, you know, slowly here. Which number is this? This is number 35. So that's this bit labelled 35. Let's take this off now and then. So that's going to sit, and again, I've got those marks to show. So I can just move that onto there, pop that onto there. Some of these marks are for stitching. Some of these marks are, there we go. Now you'll notice, of course, that I've just pressed that, and that is adhered to my sheet, and that's absolutely fine because that will then just peel off when I need it to. That is the beauty of using this rather than the old Bonder web. But if you're using Bonder web, absolutely. Kath did her last one, her Panda with Bonder web. You can use it, it's no problem. Right. Oh, Anne says the grey batik would be lovely. Thanks. Well, that's my absolute pleasure. Okay. Let's come down then to here. Let me move this up a little bit for you so that you can see. He's sizable, isn't he? He's a good size. This is where actually having two I've just got my my Teflon pressing sheets here on top of my pressing mat, my House of Alistair pressing mat. What you find is that then you can work on any workspace rather than trying to do it on an ironing board and sort of slipping off all over the place. It just, for me, worked out a lot easier. Right, that can go back in that plastic bag, along with his paw. Right. It's like the best jigsaw. It's just fab. I absolutely love it. Kath, you are a bit of a genius, I have to say. Right, now then, down here, under here, 17 is going to go on there, under there, and I can press that now in place. That's fine. And then I know that 20, this piece here, oh, helps if I actually take that piece of paper off and press it on. Yeah, don't do that. There's obviously always error, room for error. There we go, press that back on. There we go. And again, anything like that, you'll do a little outline with a stitch, so it's fine. Right, so I'll place that over the top, so I then know that this, what I'm meant to have done, will go under there. It will go over the top there, so that's where that is going to be placed there, like that. I'm just going to hold fire before I attach that because the top of the tummy now is going to start to come into play. All right, and this will slide under the arm there and possibly should go under the paw. If you have done a bit and adhered a bit where you shouldn't have, just heat it up again and just gently if you can, if it's not on like an edgy bit, you know, there we go, just pull it gently off. Okay, so that will go under there like that, like so, and then his tummy, I think I've got this the right bit there. Yeah, under his arm there, and then around we come. Double check yourself, always. There we are. Okay, around like that. And then this bit here, you can see these lines here will start to work, and he will overlap on that bit, and then this bit will then go on top of that bit, which then means that you can then put this in the correct position here and have that under there like that. So you'll find the order and align everything as it goes. And then down here you've got his foot, and that will sit on there. And then, so let's just finish this bit off, shall we? So let's just take that bit off there. And you just have to bear with me because I just want to get this in the right order. There we go. Right. So that's going to sit there. Let's take this away and put this onto there. That's going to be the starting point here. Let's put this bit onto that bit, and then that's so you can break it down into parts, and then like I've done the feet. And just be aware that the grey is going to go on top of the white. And this is where Kath is so clever. And so as I start to put this on, I'm like, right, is that too far up? I can place it correctly under the papers. Can you, I'm going to just show you on a close-up here what I'm doing. I've got these lines and I've got this under here. This is my placement. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm just lining those up there. And those I will, and so can you see that when it's out and then when it's aligned properly. And when it's aligned properly, that's when I'm going to press it, and then I can take that paper off. Okay, that's what I'm doing as I mumble to myself, and that's why I leave these top bits on, and that's why I use freezer paper, which is just makes it easier. Because you want to get it right. And the grey is going to go on top of the white. So let's find that correct positioning there. Because obviously every time I move it for everyone to see, I'm moving it. Right, so that bit there, have I got these in the right position? Those there, those there, those there, those there, those there. Does that correlate more or less on the other side? Yes, it does. Whew. And let's attach that tummy. Great, great. Right, okay, so we've got that now. And you see then, you're just going to peel it off your mat. And if any of the glue sticks, just heat it again so that it's thoroughly heated, let it cool. It will then peel off. It'll be absolutely fine. Right, so this was then there, is that right? Where am I at? Hang on, where's his foot going to go? His foot is going to go here. Let's put that foot on, because then that's one less thing that I'm thinking about. So peel back a bit of the fabric. A bit of the paper rather. Pop his foot underneath. And again, line up so that you know that he hasn't gone in too much or too little or anything like that. Yeah, so that'll be his little foot there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so that's that bit. There you go. Happily adhered onto there. That's one foot there. So we now have a foot and a thigh. Oh no. Okay, don't do it onto there. All right, if that happens, okay, and you're a little bit clumsy and you end up with a little bit of a gap, can you see there? A little bit of that Bonder web has come off. Shall I show you the fix? And again, just because we're using either Mr. Fuse or the Bond and Repair, this is what I do. Pop a bit over the top, turn it over, press, sorted. When that cools, that will peel off and that will have a fresh layer and it's all good. This is why. It's easy this way. Absolutely easy. Yes, so Anna Sewing Nut, yes, the Misty Fuse, and I will show you this when we come to do Desmond, okay? Let me just put a foot on here because we'll start that from the beginning. So we're kind of halfway through, but because he was on my desk, I didn't want to clear him all away. There's your foot. Pop that under there. Check that you're happy. I don't want to rush him. Check that you're happy as to where that foot is sitting. And then press. Okay, so we now have can then go on there. Right, so then, he will have, I think that sits over there, like so. No. And then this bit here will sit there. That bit there. Sorry, I'm kind of talking to myself as I go, and not paying all of you guys a massive amount of attention. There we go. He will go on there like that, like so. We're going to have another massive, great big bit there. And that, if I look, is number 34. Here is 34. That's my placement for number 34. There. Okay. So let's take that off. And so it just starts to come together. That's going to be my leaf there. I know now that that is in the right place, so I can peel that off, pop that down. There we go. And affix that there. That can now come off. Oh, he's all starting to come together. Fabulous, fabulous. We love this. And then what have we got left to do over here? Right. This can now come off because we know that this is going to go. Actually, is the foot going to go over the top? No, no, no. There we go. The foot's going to go there. That will go on to there. Like I say, it's just like a big jigsaw. Right? That's going to go on there. That's going to go on there. Move that up a bit. Check I haven't got... Here we are. If I take that paper off there, and we're nearly... Look, he's nearly there. Double check yourself that you're in the right place. There you go. When you know you're in the right place, that can then come off. Ah, here he is. Oh, it's like the grand reveal. How much fun is he? Look at this. And then off he comes over there. There we are. And just check that everything is pressed down. Like so. We can now take this off over here. And again, the reason that I'm peeling these off, and I can keep these as templates. This is another thing. If you're using Bonder web, then you can't use those as templates again. But all of those I can use as templates again. Now, what else have I got left? I have got over here number 28. And again, I've got that placement line there. And some of these are sewing lines. So for example, that line is a sewing line. So if you want to mark that on, then you absolutely can. We're going to stick that under his leg. Like, have I got that one the right way around? hang on. No, that one's got to come over there. Sorry, wrong leg. That will go under there. This one, haha, goes under there like that. And then you'll have those to go up on there. And that will be it. That'll be him done then, which I just think is fab. Love him. Love him very, very much. Yeah. Let's stick that down, shall we? And again, you know, I don't know that it necessarily matters kind of if that, where that goes. There we go. There, like that, because it had going around there. That's that on. And then we just have to, oh, hang on, we haven't stuck that onto there. One handsome panda. Jean, isn't he? Pam, yes, he is handsome. Yes, Heather, he's beautiful. And I do absolutely adore him. And just as you go around, just double check that you have applied the heat. Here's the thing, right? If I can do this, you guys can do it too, right? You absolutely can. All I've got left to add on now is this bit here, and that's just up by his knee, and I will just got to peel him off a bit to reposition my mat. Need a bit of extra mat, but that's what you can do, and every time you're peeling it off, and it's absolutely fine. It's so absolutely fine. So that I can position this around under his knee. There we go. You see that lines up, and that's how I know I'm going to be in the right position there. And then just press, and you can press on top of your freezer paper. I know it looks a bit scary using freezer paper, and you're like, oh gosh, my first time using freezer paper like this. I was daunted too, but it's absolutely fine. And then again, because Kath gives you all of these marks, and I cannot stress enough, use these placement marks. Okay, so now that that's on, that can come off. And then that will then go under there like that, and you'll have those coming up from there. And then the detail, any extra detail, is done with your stitching. Hazel says it's very clever the way it works, isn't it? Isn't it? Absolutely, isn't it? And there we go. So I now have all of these pieces that I can use again, which, like I say, if I was using Bond & Weber, wouldn't have. That will go in, and I will mark that as Panda. And there he is. Now all that would be left to do in terms of him is then to peel it off, and you can see it's still shiny. So all of that, either Bond and Repair or Mist Diffuse, whichever one you've gone for, whichever one you've got in your stash. Just peel it off, either your applique mat or your fuser mat or your sugarwork mat. Giving you all the options, haven't I? Et voila. He would then go onto your backing fabric for your quilt, or your background fabric, sorry, I should say, for your quilt. And you would just line him out like so and press him in place. Is he, ladies and gentlemen, not utterly, utterly gorgeous? There we are. There he is, in all his absolute glory. I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to bits with him. And then, like I say, it's a blanket stitch. So you'd press him on, and you can see all of that shiny stuff there. And if you've got any bits that haven't quite transferred or whatever, just, this is why I keep all my little scraps. Just get a little bit, if you've got a bit that's missing, there isn't actually there, and just reapply it. It's fine onto your pressing mat. Absolutely fine. And that's why I love working with these products, because it makes it easy and I'm not worried. And Kath says this is a beginner's one because you blanket stitch as opposed to free motion. So if you're worried about free motion, don't be. Absolutely don't be. But if you are, then this one is great because you just blanket stitch around to give the detail. Because here you've lost some of the detail because it's black fabric onto black fabric. But when you go in with a lighter blanket stitch around there, all of that detail comes back, and what you are then left with is that fabulous Panda. So if you want just the applique kit, go for it. And again, use it time and time and time again with your pattern. I'm going to have to think about how I want that wall hanging to be. I just think he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then if you want to do it as a quilt, then you have all of the instructions in your booklet, how to make the quilt. And if you want the fabric that we've got that's sort of in keeping, then go for that. If you've got your own, absolutely fine. It's kind of, I've kind of done it in a modular way so that you can get the bits that you want when you want them and how you want them. So I don't want to move him out of the way now. He's rather fabulous, but let's pop him on the desk there for now. There you go, Choo-Choo. Was he named on the show? Was it? He needed a name when you first came on, didn't he, Kath? Was it one of our viewers that named him? I can't remember now. Right. Shall we have a look then at preparation for Desmond? So Anna, this is where you have options, okay? If you're using Bondaweb, trace, absolutely fine. And then it'll all be the right way around. Because that's how Kath does her designs, they're all flipped, so that if you're using Bondaweb, it all goes the right way around. If you're using freezer paper, you'll see that this little chap here, is the mirror of that one there. And that's if you just trace on the normal side of your freezer paper. Now, for Desmond, what we've done is we've traced on the shiny side. Let's get Desmond up. Come on, Desmond. Step up, son. Step up. So here's Desmond. And here are all his bits and bobs. And there. And we've traced with the freezer paper on the shiny side. If you've never worked with freezer paper before, it has, I was going to say, two sides. Yes, absolutely it does. Here we go. And can you see that is your shiny, shiny, shiny side? That is, you can see the shine on there. We might have to go up for an extreme close-up, ladies and gents. Right, yeah, okay, let's see that. So you can see that is, oh, this is very exciting telly for you, isn't it? There you go, that's the shiny side. You can see it just every now and then catching. And that plastic, it's like the thinnest bit of plastic on there, but that is what will adhere. And that's just your dull side. Right, shiny side, dull side. If you draw onto that side, then you will get the mirror image. If you draw onto the shiny side, and again, use a pen that isn't going to wear off onto your fabric, like pencil or something like that. I used a Sharpie, so we'll see if that works. Then that will then, if you draw onto that side, that will then give you the way round that is in all of the pattern. Okay. Does that make sense? Get 50 square feet in this. It's huge. Huge, huge. Okay. So then you prep your fabrics, all right? And let's start with the medium brown, shall we? So what we've done is rough cut. We've drawn them onto the shiny side with rough cut round. If you don't have sugar mats, it's fine. Sugar mats or freezer mat, absolutely fine. Don't feel like you can't do this because you don't have expensive stuff, it's fine. But you will need either a baking sheet or your silicone pressing sheet or something like that. Okay. Let's prep this fabric. You'll get a fat quarter of each of these. And what I'm going to do is have a little look at these, see how much space they're going to take. Look, you've got loads left over, absolutely loads. And I'm just going to make sure that as I cut this, and this is where you might be able to use up your scraps or whatever. There we are. Yeah, if I pop that on, then everything will be covered. If you are new to Bond and Repair and Mist Diffuse, then it's a web of adhesive. So that's why it's so light, and that's how it differs, is that this allows the fabric to continue to move afterwards. So if you don't mind stuff being stiff, use your Bond web. But if you want to have that movability, that flexibility, movability, is that even a word? Then go for this. The Mist Diffuse is more expensive, but has no nasty chemicals or anything like that in. I don't actually honestly know what the Bond and Repair has in it. So I can't tell you, if it just has normal sort of adhesive stuff in it or what it has. But I know that Mist Diffuse pride themselves on having nothing chemically in it at all. So, that's where the price difference comes in. Plus, it comes in a pretty package, and the Bond and Repair comes off a roll. So, it's slightly cruder in how it is delivered to you, but it's cheaper. So, I try and give you all these options. So this is all you would do is just fix that on with your iron. Now, if this is going to look really strange, if you've never worked with these things before, you're like, she's ironing it directly on to a mat, or what is going on? And that's absolutely fine, because when that's fully cooled, actually even before, look, I can peel it off and you can see on there that it's adhered. Now, we're going to do this the other way around. So with the Panda, he was flipped. Can you quilt through Mist Diffuse? Absolutely. They pride themselves on the fact that it won't gunk your needle. It's designed for quilters, for people who are applique, so it's absolutely fine. Right. Because we drew this on the shiny side, it will go shiny side down. Now, what I didn't test, and what might be my downfall, I don't know, but I ran out of time to test, is whether or not my Sharpie pen will then stick to, will actually come off onto the fabric. It's not really the end of the world if it does. In fact, in some ways it might even help, because then I'll have all those placement lines. But it wasn't actually the idea. If you use, now this is something, if you use like a soft B pencil or a graphite pencil, something like that to draw around, then actually you can, you can draw directly onto the Mist Diffuse side, and then the Mist Diffuse will take that off, which is very, very clever. Right. So let's just have a look. Yeah, no, we're good. That's not transferring. So all we've done now is just to apply our templates onto here. which then means that we can cut. So I can just peel that all off. And again, you can just rough cut round. And at this point, if you are using any scraps of your Mr. Fuse or whatever, just turn it round and just check that you have got it on all of those bits. And also, don't use your best scissors, use your next one down. Keep your best fabric scissors for best. This has a slight paper coating to it, so, you know, it's your decision then. And then just cut out. So I still have the number visible. I wrote the numbers on the top. But I can then just cut around. I can still see those placement marks. And around we go. So that is my number, in fact, here we go. That is my number 9 piece, and that's adhered to it, no problem. And I can still see those placement lines there. So that where the fabric needs to overlap, that's it. Oh, here we go. Cass says, I can fully endorse Mr. Fuse. Doesn't clog up needles. My sewing shop asked me to try it and it's brilliant. Yeah, no, it really is. Absolutely fab. So this is how you can do it. There's your Mr. Fuse on the back there. And then I would put all of these back into the packet with the medium brown. And then I know that I've got what I've got. And I can then start to build up. Now look. It will take me a long time, I'm not going to lie, to go through and cut out all of the Desmond pieces. But he's done in the same way as the Panda, and that is the finished effect. Now, with the kit that I am supplying for you, if you want the fabric just does the applique. You then decide for your home or for whoever you're gifting it to, what colours you then want to go around there. I want to be really clear about this, because last time someone got all uppity and said, well, I didn't get the patterned fabric that was on the front of the picture. I was like, yeah, and you paid £20 for the kit, and that's Liberty fabric, and we said it wasn't that. So I want to be really, really clear. This time I'm just going to do the applique fabric, and then what you choose to do. And this has just come from feedback, what I've seen. I think Karen, you did a beautiful, beautiful Jasper rabbit and chose colours that suited your home. So I thought, well, hang on a minute. I can charge less, and then you get to add on your own fabrics that suit your home, and then it suits everybody. And you get the fabric that you want. So the colours are fab. This will require some free motion should you choose to, and that's how he's got his lovely hairy effect. Let me give you that. There we go. You see that? Free motion might be quite scary for some people. I absolutely understand that. I'm going to show you your basic machine setup and how to get going with it, so that hopefully it won't be scary for you. All right. When you come to do free motion, you want to look out for this foot here. Okay, this is your free motion foot. Yours, well, mine. Oh, there's my cup of tea that I didn't drink. Hang on. Oh, it's a bit whammy. Right. Can you see here? This one's got a spring. You will have to drop your feed dogs. The feed dogs are here. Let me show you where your feed dogs are. Ah, here, can you see? So these are your feed dogs. These are the, you're going to have to excuse me if I'm teaching grandmother to suck eggs here, but these are the teeth, and ordinarily you want your feed dogs up because they feed the fabric through. Okay, that's what they're going to do. They're going to feed through your fabric evenly. Now, as soon as you drop your feed dogs, and on this machine, I just move that across, and there they go. They move out of the way. Now, I can run my finger across and nothing is catching. Nothing is catching at all. And then I've taken my straight stitch length down to 0. Okay. That's all we've done here, folks, is take that down to 0. Practice. Kath said to me, Tash, all you need to do is to be able to go back and forth and back and forth. And if you want to go back and forth in a different direction, turn your fabric. Okay. So let's have a practice. This is the edge of a Jasper that we did. I've had a little practice on around the edges on here. So you'll have your wadding and then your cushion top. I've turned my machine speed down from hair to a bit slower. Lower your presser foot there and then start to have a go. Hold the thread up, because then you'll be able to, for the first couple of stitches, now let me get my foot in the right position. I've got a wire in the way, excuse me. Right. You can then pull up. You can pull up, and I've actually, my bottom thread there is actually a lighter colour, but you can pull that through. You can then tie those off. There you go. Can you see? That's my bottom thread, so I've just pulled that up, and then I can then put them in a needle and put them down if I want, and off we go. So when we start to then stitch, as long as I can go forwards, I'm going to snip off that one there because it's getting in the way for you to see. As long as I can go forwards and I can come backwards, and you do that by just moving your fabrics. You can hoop this, by the way, if you would feel easier hooping. If you can go forwards and backwards, and again, just don't rush it. Because you've put your stitch length on 0, the worst that happens is that you don't move and you just do a couple of stitches on the spot. Like, that's the worst that happens here. And that's absolutely fine. And that is all you are going to do around the side of the face. Now you can see on this was Jasper that we did last time. Up and down, up and down. This was with a variegated thread. So if you're nervous, get yourself a variegated thread, because then it disguises stitches even more. And if you're worried, that's another little cheat that you can have to rest assured that all is okay. All right, ting, 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 ting. And it is as easy as that. Just forwards and backs, forwards and back, and that's all you need to do. Honestly, it is that easy. And if you want to pop it in a hoop, then do. That gives you something to hold on to on the edge, but forwards and then back. I'm trying really hard not to get my hands in the way as well. Forwards and back in whatever colour thread you want. There you go. Forwards and back, forwards and back, forwards and back. Do that around and you're absolutely fine. Have a little practice, do some swirly bits, start writing your name, have a little go, practice on a scrap piece first. And honestly, if I can do it, then you can. It's as easy as that. Ta-da! So there we go, guys. That's applique. I didn't want to do it exactly the same as Kath had done it last time, because I believe there are lots of different ways and you will find a way that suits you. This really suits me, so this is how I do it, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you have supported Kath and bought her patterns. Kath will be sending out the patterns for the Panda and what's his name? Desmond. I've still got the Jasper ones, so I'll send those out, and any fabric will come from me. Like I said, there might be a little delay on some of the grey because that's still got to come in. All right, but if you're happy with the batik, then I can send that out straight away. Okay, all right. Tomorrow, we start with our new block of the month. We will also be demonstrating this one. I was going to do it Monday, but then there still is a little bit of, oh, has the fabric yet arrived for the block of the month? It's all been ordered. It had to come from America via Canada on a boat, because that is how fabric is coming now from America, which is all pretty crazy. And so we weren't sure on time. It has all been ordered. Everything is ordered. And we'll talk through tomorrow with lovely Jane Alcock. The subscription we're going to do for the block of the month, what we can offer you for that. We'll also show you how to do that quilt. So that will all be done. Yeah, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for all of your lovely messages. Kath, have a good read through there, because there's some gorgeous messages for you as well. Oh, Martina's got some words of wisdom there as well. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock tomorrow for Block of the Month with lovely Jane, and I will see you then. It's a brand new quilt that we start tomorrow. Bye-bye.